You are entering a location next to a designated zone across the street from an area called time, space, and alternate reality. You may find yourself asking questions like, where did he acquire such a cool power-up? How do I get to that secret bonus level? And when will they release a new nifty hat for me? There are many of these questions, and we will do our best to answer as many of them as we can, as Aperture Gaming is proud to present the DLC Zone. Greetings, fellow test subjects. Test subject 1337 here for Aperture Gaming. They make it, we test it, you play it. Alright, and welcome to the DLC Zone. Today on the DLC Zone, we'll be reviewing Cold Heart for Batman Arkham Origins. Now, I did not get a chance to actually review the game itself, so I'll give you my quick version of it. For starters, we here at Aperture Labs, we give Batman Arkham Origins a 7.5 out of 10. Now, we didn't get access to this game until sometime in late December, so by then we thought all the bugs would have been cleared out, because we heard the reports about that, but sadly to say, no, we encountered bugs also. So we had, so tech issue was one factor, and now for this game, Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy, who respectively played the Joker and Batman in the animated series and in the previous two Arkham games, were not the voices for their characters in this game. But the voices for Batman and the Joker did sound fairly close. Like, if you've never heard them from the animated series before, or from the Arkham games before, they sound pretty good. It's fairly close. So yeah, the voices were a good factor. So yeah, aside from some tech issues, the game was fairly good. We enjoyed how the city was very large. How we got more of it from the first game. It offered an interesting story, and we liked how after seeing two games with characters that we've encountered before, it was nice to encounter new types of characters, new arch nemesis for Batman to fight. So, like I said, we give it a 7.5 out of 10. It was very good. And now, for the review of Cold Heart. Cold Heart gets its origins from the animated series also, like much of this game series. It is based on the episode Heart of Ice. This was from the first season of the Batman the Animated Series. It follows a very similar story, but because this is the Arkham Origin game series, it takes a slightly darker tone and changes things around a bit. Mr. Freeze, who is just a random villain with a unique superpower, because of the animated series, he got a very tragic backstory that was so well written that it became the official permanent version of the series for Batman. As you may have noted in the movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger played Dr. Freeze. Yeah, so it's interesting how they took this from the series and just rolled with it. So we like how that started out. And now, for the official review of the DLC itself. The DLC, Cold Heart, begins on New Year's Eve, a mere 6 days after what we like to call the Gotham Christmas Crisis, or GCC. At Wayne Manor, Mr. Ferris Boyle from the Gotham Corporation is accepting the Wayne Humanitarian of the Year award. When suddenly a giant iceberg breaks into the building, and penguin goons, led by a blue man in a mechanized suit, begin causing havoc throughout the mansion. This is great because for the first part of this DLC, you play a little bit as Bruce Wayne, and then you actually fight. So you fight some gentlemen in your manor, and then you become Batman and fight them as Batman in the Wayne Manor. After that, you then take the fight to the streets of Gotham. Now, this reminds me of the Revenge of Harley Quinn DLC for Arkham City. It takes place in a section of Arkham City, only unlike the previous one, it's the new segment, not the old one. And it's a much smaller, more secluded part. It's like in the very center, and some of the other areas have been blocked off, either by high winds or by very large icebergs. This DLC was interesting because you had to you fought your regular goons, and then there were some goons that had ice rays So it was an interesting take on that. Now, to fight Mr. Freeze, you had to... It helped if you completed 3 side missions. You had to either find 13 anarchy symbols hidden throughout the city, stop 4 anarchy protests, or save 20 police and security guards frozen in ice. Now, ironically, after I played this DLC, I started to develop a head cold, so be cautious when you play this DLC. So yes, by doing this, you unlock like an upgrade for your fist, an upgrade for when you break out of ice, should you get captured by the ice ray, and my personal favorite, heated batarangs. Now, it's really great how the story progresses for this DLC. It feels like an episode inside the main game. But it's weird that that the city is shrunk off so much. And, yeah, you can't really explore too much of the city. You just have to stick to that one isolated area. But anyway, you learn the origin of how Mr. Freeze came to be, what the ties with the Goth Corporation are. And the best part is, for the last part, here's a little bit of a spoiler, you fight Mr. Freeze, but the fight is very reminiscent of what strategy you had to employ for the Arkham City battle against Mr. Freeze. So it's interesting how they incorporated something from the previous game into this game. I liked how it worked out. Another weird thing that I found weird was when you get the Batman has to acquire a special suit to fight Mr. Freeze, but you can run around Gotham in it before the fight. It's weird seeing him fly and glide around and sneak around in such a big, bulky suit, but I guess when you've existed for 75 years, the laws of physics can be a little bit strained in your favor. So, and on that note, happy 75th anniversary to Batman. It's a little late in the month, but yes, for those of you who didn't know, this is the 75th year that Batman's been in existence. Now, here on YouTube, there's like some special shorts that have been created by Warner Brothers and DC to celebrate that. One that's in the style of an old black and white film, and one that's a little short that takes place in the Batman Beyond universe. So check those out. Getting back on track to Cold, Cold Heart. Aside from its few flaws, we like how it pays tribute to the original story. We like how it calls back to the fight from Arkham Origins, Arkham City. And we like how it gives you a chance to get some new collectibles and explore around in new places to fight. And also get a chance to fight some villains that were new to that game and new for this DLC. So we give Cold, Cold Heart a solid 9 out of 10. So thank you very much for watching. Sorry this video was late, but like I said, I started to develop a head cold from playing this game. So play at your own risk, fellow test subjects. So until next time, this has been Test Subject 1337 for Aperture Gaming, and this has been the DLC Zone. Thank you for watching and have a nice night.